The motorcycle engine slowed as it rolled to a stop in front of a quiet house on Maple Street. Marcus stood beside his bike and checked the address one more time. This was the place. He had driven a long distance to deliver a small box for his sister. Nothing more. Just a favor. A simple stop. Marcus looked calm, but years on the road had taught him to notice small details. The quiet porch. The still windows. The feeling that something was not quite right. Before he could knock, the door opened. A little girl stood there. She wore a bright dress, but her face did not match the color. Her eyes were tired. Her hands were tight at her sides. She looked up at Marcus. "Are you Uncle Marcus?" "That is me. I have something for your mom." She nodded but did not smile. "Mom is not home yet." She looked behind her, then back at him. Her voice lowered. "She will be back later." Marcus hesitated. He was about to say he would come back another time. That was when another man stepped into view. He stood behind the girl, dressed neatly, smiling politely. "Can I help you?" Marcus held up the box. "Just a delivery for Jennifer." The man nodded. "I can take that inside for her." The little girl stiffened. She stepped slightly forward. "Mom said she wanted it later." The man's smile faded just a little. "I am helping your mother, sweetheart." Marcus felt the shift in the air. He spoke calmly. "I promised to give it to her myself. I can wait." The man's tone tightened. "That will not be necessary." Marcus did not move. "I am in no hurry." The little girl looked up at Marcus again. Her voice was barely steady. "Please do not leave yet." The words landed hard. Marcus had heard many things in his life, but that tone meant something. He nodded slowly. "I will stay." The man exhaled through his nose. "You are making this awkward." Marcus kept his eyes on the child. "You are doing fine." The girl stepped closer to the doorway, as if unsure where to stand. The man placed a hand near her shoulder. "Let us go inside." Marcus spoke gently but firmly. "She is okay here." Silence filled the porch. The little girl's fingers curled into her dress. She whispered, "I feel better out here." Marcus took a small step forward, placing himself where she could see him clearly. "You are not alone." The man straightened. "I need you to leave." Marcus shook his head once. "I will wait for her mother." The man turned away sharply and went back inside, closing the door harder than needed. The girl let out a small breath. She looked at Marcus. "Thank you." He crouched to her level. "You did the right thing." She nodded, though her eyes were still full of worry. They sat on the porch steps together. Time passed slowly. Marcus stayed quiet, steady, present. Sometimes doing nothing was the most important thing. He looked at the road, then back at the door. Whatever was coming next, he knew one thing. He was not leaving. Ending line. Sometimes the bravest moment is simply asking someone to stay. The porch grew quiet after the door closed. Marcus stayed seated on the steps. The little girl sat beside him, close enough to feel safe, but not touching. They watched the street together. Cars passed slowly. Leaves moved in the soft light. She broke the silence. "My name is Lily." Marcus smiled. "That is a good name." She nodded. "Mom works late sometimes." Marcus understood. "That happens." Lily looked at his motorcycle. "Is it loud?" "Only when it needs to be." She smiled for the first time. The smile faded quickly. She glanced back at the door. "He said he is helping us. But it does not feel that way." Marcus listened. Sometimes feelings tell us things before words do. She looked up at him. "You believe me?" "I do." Inside the house, a curtain shifted. Marcus noticed. He stayed calm. He adjusted his position so Lily could see him clearly. "You can sit here as long as you want." She wrapped her arms around her knees. "He does not like when I wait outside." Marcus kept his voice steady. "You are allowed to feel comfortable." Lily took a slow breath. "He said I should trust him." "But Mom did not say that." Marcus nodded. "Trust is something people earn. It is not something they take." The front door opened slightly. The man stood there again. His voice was controlled. "Lily, come inside." She did not move. Marcus stood up, slow and calm. "She is fine here." The man looked at Marcus. You are misunderstanding the situation. Marcus replied evenly. Then we can wait until her mother comes home and clears it up. The man sighed. This is unnecessary. Marcus did not raise his voice. So is pressure. The man looked at Lily. You are making things harder. Lily's hands tightened. Marcus spoke gently. She is not making anything harder. She is listening to herself. The man paused. Then he stepped back inside again. The door closed. Lily exhaled. Thank you for talking for me. Marcus shook his head. You spoke for yourself. I just stayed. She thought about that. The sun moved lower. Light stretched across the yard. Minutes passed. Marcus did not check his phone. He did not rush. Being present mattered. Lily looked at him again. Will you really wait? Marcus answered without hesitation. Yes. Her shoulders relaxed. For the first time, she leaned slightly closer. Sometimes waiting is how you help. Ending line. When someone chooses to stay, hope has room to grow. The afternoon light softened as time moved forward. Marcus remained on the porch. Lily stayed close, watching the road as if counting the minutes. She spoke quietly. Mom always texts me when plans change. Marcus nodded. That shows care. Lily looked thoughtful. He said Mom asked him to stay here. But there was no message. Marcus listened carefully. Sometimes people say things that sound certain, hoping others will not question them. She frowned. I questioned it. Marcus smiled gently. That takes courage. The door opened again. The man stepped out holding his phone. His voice sounded calm, but tight. Lily, your mother is busy. She asked me to make sure you are comfortable. Lily shook her head. She would tell me herself. The man looked at Marcus. You are confusing her. Marcus spoke evenly. She sounds clear to me. The man sighed. I am respected in this neighborhood. I help people. Marcus replied. Helping never requires pressure. The man paused. His eyes shifted. Then he went back inside. The door closed. Lily's hands trembled slightly. Marcus crouched beside her. You can tell me anything you want. She swallowed. He keeps coming here even when Mom says no. Marcus stayed calm. That can feel confusing. She nodded. He waits when she is not home. He tells me I should get used to him. Marcus felt the weight of her words but kept his voice steady. Thank you for telling me. You are doing well. She looked relieved. You are not mad. No. You are being honest. That matters. Car passed slowly. The sound faded. Lily looked at Marcus. What if he gets upset? Marcus answered softly. Adults are responsible for their own feelings. You are responsible for telling the truth. She considered that. Then she nodded. I like that. Marcus smiled. Truth has a way of helping. The door opened once more. The man stepped out, standing at a distance. He crossed his arms. This situation is unnecessary. Marcus stood calmly. Then it will be easy to solve when her mother arrives. The man hesitated. He looked toward the street. Lily noticed. Mom should be here soon. Marcus nodded. We will wait together. The man turned away without another word. Silence returned. Lily sat back down. Her shoulders slowly relaxed. She whispered, I feel safer now. Marcus replied, that feeling matters. They waited as the sun dipped lower. Hope grew quietly in the space between them. Ending line. When someone listens without judgment, fear begins to fade. The sound of tires slowed near the house. Lily lifted her head. A familiar car turned onto the street. Her face changed. That is my mom. Marcus stood with her. The car stopped. A woman stepped out, moving fast but steady. Her eyes found Lily first. Lily ran toward her. Mom. The woman knelt and held her close. I am here. I'm sorry I am late. Lily held on for a moment, then looked back at Marcus. He stayed. The woman followed Lily's gaze. She stood and faced Marcus. Thank you for waiting with her. Marcus nodded. She asked me to stay. The front door opened again. The man stepped outside. His voice sounded confident. There has been a misunderstanding. The woman turned. I asked you not to come here. The man smiled lightly. I was only trying to help. Lily moved closer to her mother. Mom, I told him to leave. The woman took a breath. I told you that I would contact you if I needed help. The man adjusted his tone. You are reacting strongly. Marcus spoke calmly. She was clear. The woman looked at Marcus, then back at the man. You were asked to leave. The man hesitated. He looked around. Neighbors had begun to notice. This is unnecessary attention. The woman replied, so is ignoring clear boundaries. The man took a step back. I will go. He turned and walked away without another word. The street grew quiet again. The woman looked at Marcus. I do not know how to thank you. Marcus answered simply. I listened. That was enough. Lily looked up at him. You did not leave. Marcus smiled. I said I would stay. The woman placed a hand on Lily's shoulder. You trusted your instincts. That was brave. Lily nodded. I remembered what you always tell me. Speak when something feels wrong. The woman smiled with relief. She turned to Marcus. You showed her what kindness looks like. Marcus shook his head. She already knew. I just stood nearby. They stood together for a moment. The sun rested low in the sky. Light touched the house gently. The woman picked up the small box Marcus had brought. Thank you for bringing this too. Family matters. Marcus nodded. Family always matters. Lily held his hand briefly. Thank you for being there. Marcus replied softly. You did the hardest part. You spoke up. He walked back toward his motorcycle. He paused and looked back once. The porch was calm now. The door stood open. The house felt lighter. Ending line. Sometimes fairness begins when one person chooses to stay and listen. The evening air felt calmer after everything settled. Marcus stood by his motorcycle, adjusting his gloves. Lily stayed near him, holding a folded paper in her hands. She looked unsure. I made something for you. Marcus knelt slightly. I would like to see it. She unfolded the paper. It showed a motorcycle, a small house, and two people standing side by side. One was small. One was tall. Above them were simple words written carefully. Thank you for staying. Marcus felt his chest tighten. This is special. Lily smiled. I wanted you to remember us. He nodded. I will. Her mother stepped closer. I cannot thank you enough. Marcus replied gently. You do not owe me anything. You raised a brave child. The mother looked at Lily. I am proud of you. Lily looked down, then up again. I was scared. The mother nodded. Being brave does not mean you are never scared. It means you speak anyway. Marcus listened quietly. That lesson mattered. Lily turned to him again. Will you come back? Marcus smiled softly. Roads are long, but they often bring you where you are meant to be. She accepted that. She held up her hand. Marcus shook it with care. You keep trusting yourself. She nodded. I will. Marcus mounted his bike. The engine came to life, steady and calm. He paused before leaving. You both take care. The mother replied. You already did. Marcus pulled away slowly. In the mirror, he saw Lily waving from the porch. The house stood peaceful behind her. The road opened ahead. Marcus felt something different. Not pride. Purpose. Helping did not always mean fixing everything. Sometimes it meant staying until the right moment passed. The sky darkened into soft colors. The bike moved forward. Miles rolled beneath the wheels. Marcus thought about the words she had spoken earlier. Please do not leave yet. Such a simple request. Such a powerful one. Somewhere behind him, a child felt safer. Somewhere ahead, another moment would come. Marcus stayed ready. Because showing up matters. Ending line. Kindness stays long after the road moves on. Weeks passed quietly. Life returned to its normal rhythm. One afternoon, Marcus stopped at a roadside cafe. He parked his bike and checked his phone. A message waited for him. It was from a number he did not recognize. He opened it. A photo filled the screen. Lily stood in a bright room, wearing a simple uniform, standing tall. Her smile was strong. Under the photo were a few words. Learning to be confident every day. Thank you. Marcus smiled. A second message followed. Another photo. Lily and her mother stood outside a building, holding papers and smiling with relief. The message was short. "We are doing well." Marcus leaned back in his seat. He felt calm. He typed a reply. "I am glad you are both okay. Keep trusting yourselves." The road stretched ahead. Marcus finished his coffee and stood. He thought about that afternoon on the porch. He had not planned to change anything. He had only planned to deliver a box. But listening had changed the course of a moment. And that moment had changed a life. He mounted his bike. The engine started smoothly. As he rode, he passed houses, towns, and open fields. Every place held stories. Some spoken, some waiting. Marcus knew something now. Strength does not always look loud. Courage does not always look big. Sometimes it looks like a small voice asking someone to stay. And sometimes it looks like a stranger choosing not to leave. Miles later, Marcus slowed at a long stretch of road. The sun rested low. Light filled the sky with warm colors. He rode forward, steady and focused. Somewhere behind him, a child felt stronger. Somewhere ahead, another quiet moment waited. Marcus stayed open to it. Because respect is a choice. Kindness is a choice. Staying is a choice. And sometimes that choice changes everything. Ending line. When one person listens with care, hope finds its way forward.